All right, there we go. So I want to thank everyone. Good afternoon, and thank you for attending today. All veterans, thank you for your service. And for those of you unfamiliar with VA's Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization, the VA's mission, its statement is clear: to care for him who shall have borne the battle and his orphan. Now, simply stated, we are obligated well. Mission statement recognizes through the prioritization of enabling veterans to gain access to economic opportunities through our policies and programs, informed by customer feedback and improved research. Someone said that my audio was breaking up. Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you, but I was just about to put that in the Teams. It sounds like you're underwater, to me
Hold
anyway.
on.
Yeah.
One second. Okay, how is that?
That sounds more clear.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for letting me know. All right, everyone. So, as I was stating, here in OSDBU, our mission directly aligns with this thought through the prioritization of enabling veterans to gain access to economic opportunities through our policies and programs, informed by customer feedback that improve market research, increase direct access, and maximize the participation of procurement ready, veteran owned small businesses, and service disabled veteran owned small businesses. Today's presentation is Through the Eyes of an SBL: Perspective and Preparation Needed for Doing Business with VA. This is our fourth training with an SBL, and for those that do not know about this training, after this training concludes, I recommend that you visit our YouTube channel to view those previous trainings. My name is Wendy Bray, and I'm the federal lead for the education and training portfolio for the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Utilization. In a few minutes, I will begin recording. Well, I've already started recording this training, but for your awareness, a copy of the presentation um, and the speaker plans to use presentation that the speaker plans to use today will be emailed to everyone by tomorrow morning. You do not have to provide your email address in the chat or Q&A. We will use the email address you use to register when disseminating the information. Please direct all questions that you have during this training in the Q&A box and make sure that you address them to all panelists so that we do not miss responding during this live session. We will address some questions during this training, and if we are not able to respond during this training here, you will receive an email with a response within a few days. All right, so let's get started. I'm so excited to be picking this back up, this training this year. The last one we conducted was in October of 2022. And if this is your first time attending one of our small business development trainings, welcome. This training is part of the series called Vet Talk Procurement Readiness Series. And the intent of this series is to break down the acquisition process into easily digestible information for the small business community. And you can, like I stated before, visit our YouTube channel to view the recordings for those previous trainings we have conducted within this series. Today, we are joined by Mr. Darryl Scherer. He's a small business liaison, aka SBL for NCO. And NCO stands for Networking Contracting Office. For those that do not know, he's the NCO for Vision Nine. I'm sorry for NC. He's a small business liaison. Excuse me, for NCO 9. Now, Vision 9 is VA Mid South Healthcare Network, and it includes Kentucky, Tennessee, parts of Georgia, Mississippi, and Arkansas. And Mr. Scherer has 29 years of experience in government procurement regulation policy and procedures. In his new role as a small business specialist, he developed and encouraged opportunities for small business concerns within the various socioeconomic programs by providing information regarding means for doing business with the federal government. He has also established and maintained a robust small business outreach program that allows for coordination and participation in government industry conferences, regional, state, and local small business events, and interagency small businesses activities. I don't want to tell you everything about Mr. Scherer. I want to allow him the opportunity to introduce himself. So I will now turn it over to our guest speaker to introduce himself and tell you a little more about his history at VA and background in the procurement contracting world.
Good afternoon. My name is Darryl Scherer, as indicated before. I am the Small Business Liaison or Small Business Specialist. It goes both ways, however you want to do. I have about 13 years of contracting experience. The last year and a half, I've been doing the Small Business Liaison job, which includes talking to small business, trying to help them um, get their foot on the ground, or um, most small businesses also contact me. They provide me a capability statement. So I have a robust system that I have a virtual library that I put all capability statements in, and then I get them out to my clients in the medical facilities. That's one of my small jobs. Other jobs I do is I do reviews for all of our procurements that come out of NCO 9. Make sure that all of my COs and CSs are giving the best market research to get as many businesses for small business out there as possible. Um, and then I attend conferences, virtual, and since COVID's over now, we're doing a lot more in-personal conferences. So you'll see me around at various ones across the country. Um, like I said, I've got 13 years of contracting experience, but that's me, and so we'll move forward from there.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much, Darryl Scherer. So I want to start off by discussing what VA buys. We may have some new businesses attending today, and this is their first time with us. Can you tell us a little bit about what VA buys?
Sure. Pretty much anything probably that you sell, the VA probably buys. As far as here in NCO 9, we have 7 major hospitals. So we carry all pharmaceuticals, medical, surgical supplies. We buy perishables for our dining facilities at each of the hospitals. Obviously, cleaning supplies, all medical, light bulbs, um, janitorial, and then each hospital has their own construction projects and everything that goes along with construction. Um, as you can see, we have medical gases, and then we have staffing. There are times when we have to hire nurses or physician assistants or even admin people. So um, we have quite a range of everything that we buy. So it's kind of put out there, and if you sell it, most likely VA buys it. So um,
Thank you. So, veteran owned small businesses and the small business community are playing a major role with the services and products that they provide to veterans here at VA in healthcare, benefits, cemetery, IT, construction, and so many more things for the VA and the communities in which we live. The role of the SBL is pivotal to VA and the small business community. Let's talk about what a small business liaison is and their role.
all right, kind of. We are business advisors. Like I said, we talk to small businesses in conferences or on a daily basis on phone conversations. Um, what we do is we give guidance on procurement procedures to small business. Um, we talk to them about networking and how important networking is. Need to know, what staying current in the marketplace, knowing what competitors are selling, networking with competitors that can help you move forward if you're struggling on different aspects of this. Um, Identify prime contract opportunities. Sometimes, you might If you're a small business, it might behoove a small business to get like a subcontracting plan with the large business to get your foot into the door working with the federal government. And then from there, maybe expand into being a prime contractor. That is a very good way to get in your foot in the door. We work closely with OSDBU. Obviously, this is where we are today. We're talking with OSDBU. We develop and encourage opportunities for small business as much as we can. We do have goals every year that the federal government puts out and mandates that we try to achieve these goals. So part of my job is to make sure everybody does their due diligence and tries to award to small business if possible. And and for me, I've established and I maintain a robust small business outreach program to allow us for coordination in the government industry. Like I said, I will be at several of the conferences coming up in the next year here now that COVID is kind of broke loose and we're having more in-personal meetings. So you'll see me across the country most likely. This is kind of a small breakdown of internal and external roles. So like under the first one, under reviews, this is what I was talking about earlier. All procurements that come through NCO 9 come through my desk so that I make sure that they have done their due diligence in trying to award to small business. Then there are consolidation contracts where you're multiple things on one contract. The non-manufacturer rule, we're looking to buy things that are made in the USA, and that's one of our goals is also to make sure all of our contracts are trying to do that. The subcontracting goals. That's, like I said, this is if you can hook in with a prime contractor under a subcontract. That is a very good way to get your foot in the door as a small business. I do provide training to the NCO, VISN, and I do my own market research. Basically, like I said, I do these reviews, so I have to make sure that these people have done their due diligence. So I will follow what they tell me they've done and make sure we come up with the same results. If not, then I send it back and they have to work on their review or on their paper to send back to me. Like I said, internal roles, we have some industry days coming up. And there's some slides here at the end of the presentation showing some events that are coming up or where some links to where to go to see events. Then my external is, networking, talking to small businesses, trying to get them hooked up with meetings like this, where they can learn different things and expand, I guess you'd say. And then we just kind of, I talk to probably, I don't know, 5 to 10 small businesses probably per week. I don't want to say they're all in the Tennessee, Kentucky area, but I do talk to several here and then across the nation. So, and then I try to hook them up with, they've changed their names. They used to be called PTAC, but now they're called Accelerated. So they just changed that, but these people are paid by the government and they're usually hooked with the university and they're there to help small business getting registered through all the government like SAM or VetBiz or any of the things, socioeconomic statuses that they have. That's what they're there for. And then the internal external bridge, it's basically communication, us talking to you, you talking to us, understanding your requirements, understanding our requirements. It's, I guess, all in all, I guess I would be the small business subject matter expert for Visit 9. And let's see. I think that's all I have for that one.
Okay, thank you. This is great information for the community to know. I know there are times when a firm is just getting started, or let's just say have been in business for a while, but they are not procurement ready. But they have identified VA as a potential customer in their business plan. During our trainings, we cover the many free resources that are available to the firms. I just saw a question, for example, that said, where can I locate the small business liaisons? We actually have that in our presentation that we'll show in a few minutes, but then also we provide that information during our other trainings. And Nicole, if you can, go ahead and post that link in the chat, please. And so it's understandable that each agency or office can provide certain assistance. My question to you is, when should a firm engage with a small business liaison?
Well, it's I guess if you're new and you're starting out, you need to engage early, so we can get you pointed in the right direction. Here in Tennessee, like I said, we have uh, the PTAC. And like I said, down farther in the presentation, there are links to those. We also have a Tennessee Small Business Development Center, and they also help get small business up and running. Um, so a good deal. Let's see. To engage with me, it depends on where you're at in your business. Like I said, I talk to people that have an idea and have never even started a business plan yet. So that'd be the early. Other ones that are already up and running, you can talk to me anytime. Usually, I request a capability statement so I can see uh, what you're selling, so that I can get it to the right people. Um, and it's um, and then with like working with OSDBU and the SBA, we get several of these conferences that we go to, and we all talk, and when we come up with ideas how to engage with the small businesses. My phone is always open, my email is always open, so that those are farther down at the end of the presentation. So um, I'd say for brand new business, you need um, to contact as early as possible. Now, which SBL do you need to contact? Well, that depends. You know, each state has their own PTACs and their own small business development centers. So it would probably not behoove somebody from, say, California to contact me about a PTAC and want my PTAC to help them in California, when there are PTACs in California that can assist. So, like I said, I talk to small businesses all week long, but for somebody to want to get started in a business, they would need to talk to their SBL in the area that they live. That would be most helpful for that person. And down farther in the presentation, there'll be a map of the U.S. and it'll show how it's broke out by visits. And then after that map is a list of all the SBLs, the current SBLs for each one of those visits. So you'll have an email and a phone number for each one of those areas. So, um, like I said, if you're a new and upcoming business, you need to get a hold of us soon so we can get you registered with the PTAC, because they're a very busy place too. So you probably will not be able to call them today and have an appointment in an hour. So it'll probably be a few days, maybe to a week, to actually get an appointment. But like I said, they're there to help you get it registered in SAM, any of your other socioeconomic statuses. So I think we're
Okay. So let's pivot to discuss business certifications. Can you tell us about the different socioeconomic certifications between state and federal and why this information is important to the business owners?
Sure. Obviously, there's two different categories here. You have your state socioeconomic statuses, and you have the federal. Um, Up here on the screen, these are the different federal socioeconomic statuses that we deal with, and here's links to each one um, to go in to see what the qualifications are for each one. I have a lot of small business that want to talk about state certifications, but the federal government doesn't recognize the state certification. So again, with the small development center and the PTAC, they could be able to maybe take a small state socioeconomic status and get it changed or uploaded to as a federal. But anytime you deal with the federal, it is a lot more documents, a lot more documentation. Let me put it that way. So, um, but I do have a lot of people that call. If you go, I think the next, yeah, the next slide down talks about some state certifications. And like I said, these can be, PTAC might be able to help you get an SBA to get you onto the federal level, if that makes sense. Like I said, I do talk to a lot of small business that they're um, a minority business enterprise, and that's not something the federal government recognizes. So, um, but anyway, um, let's see. And then the next slide down, we have your state socioeconomic classifications and the definition of each. Um, but you know, your PTAC or your small development center can help you with, depending on where you want to be with your business. If you want to do the federal, then you will have to work to do the federal side. If you're happy with doing state, um, then you really can't do a federal contract, if that makes sense. Um, Sorry, I have a lot of ums, but I think unless you have some questions there, I think we're ready to move on to the next
Okay.
question.
All right. So I get asked a lot, should I attend this upcoming networking event? Side note to the participants, if you are currently attending the National 8-8 conference, don't forget to stop by and visit our booth. If you can see my background right now, I am at the National 8-8 Small Business Conference, and we VA is at booth 113. All right. So getting back to my question, should networking be considered important to small businesses?
Yes, to stay competitive, that would be your top thing. Attending these conferences, seeing what other small businesses are doing in your industry. Um, just talking to them in general, getting some ideas. Maybe you might be stuck on an idea and don't know how to maneuver through it. And your competitor, even though it might be a competitor, might have an answer for you. I mean, networking is an outstanding job for you. And there's several conferences throughout the year, in various places. Usually they're right here in the back door of where you live. Here in last November, I attended two conferences in Nashville that were back to back within 2 days apart. So, um, and each one, you know, you have 200-300 people attending. So, um, it's, you know, maintaining contact list also will help you with that. Um, Keeps, just like I said, it just keeps you current on the events and how the industry is turning. So the next slide, which you're looking at, these are the Small Business Administration. If you go out to this link, it'll show you where and what conferences are coming up. Also, the United States Department of the State. It also has It's OSDBU, but it also has events. They have training all the time, and probably 99% of it is free. It's just you have to register for the different training sessions. Each year we do the direct access program. I did mine last March. I'm sure I'm coming up again for a new one coming up here in the next here in the next couple months. But it is also covers across the nation, and it gives you. It's called the Direct Access Program, and it's a decent program to get involved with. And then why is it important? It helps with business leads, networking issues, new and business trends. It helps raise your profile. It helps identify the best business practices. Helps in the generation of referrals. Helps increase your confidence. It provides you with new opportunities and helps positive influence and new ideas.
Thank you. Um, and I see that we have a few questions for the audience, so I'll go ahead and answer them. For everyone, your questions, please direct them to the Q&A box instead of the chat. It's easier for us to be able to track those. There was a question that said, when and where is the National AA Conference? The conference is actually going on now. It started today and it concludes on Wednesday, and it's in New Orleans. Um, Yes, thank you, Dr. Nicole Hines. She gave you the information for today.
Okay.
AppTac website to find a PTAC. Oh, thank you. Cindy's always in our trainings. Hey, Cindy, thank you so much for that information. Yes, they're now called Apex Accelerators, formerly the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, still using the same website. I did see, Cindy, that there was a new website, but it's up and being built up. So AppTac, what she placed in the chat is actually the current one. Can you give us these links? Everything that you see on the presentations currently that are light blue are the links. And like I stated, you'll receive a copy of the presentation by tomorrow morning. Uh, let's see about the event. Thanks. I was just awarded a orientationist today. Congratulations, John. I'm going to go back up a little bit to see if I missed any questions. Is there a set aside or percent procurement requirement for made in the USA goods? What is the VA definition of made in the USA or versus TAA compliant? Katie, we'll have to get back to you with that, with a response offline. Okay. All right. I don't see any more questions. Oh, wait, let me go to the chat. I'm sorry, the Q&A. Wanted to make sure I didn't miss anybody. Will the VA conduct NVSBE in 2023? If so, will the focus include opportunities to meet with VA interior designers and facility management? I currently am not sure about when the next NVSBE will be. What I do recommend is that you go on our website and you subscribe to receive notification when the next one will be being conducted. Also, they'll be providing information on who they anticipate or expect to be there. So I recommend that you go ahead. I don't have any response for that right now because there isn't any talks of the NVSBE that have been posted out. But if you do go and subscribe, DAP, and what is it, Direct Access Program, that's what Mr. Scherer was just speaking about on this slide. With our DAP directorate, they'll be able to send out notification whenever the next one does come. I mean, whenever the registration opens for the next one. What is NCO 9 doing to help your locations to properly utilize the MSPV program to purchase medical/dental supplies that have been awarded to SDBOSB vendors? Are you able to answer that, Mr. Scherer?
Say that. I'm sorry. Say that again.
The question is, what is NCO 9 doing to help your locations to properly utilize the MSPV program to purchase medical dental supplies that have been awarded to SDVOSB vendors?
Um, well, under you're talking about the prime surge contract. So most, most of our stuff, from my understanding, is bought off the federal supply schedule on most of our equipment. Small things, other, not your large equipment, but and like I said, each of the procurements come through me. So yeah, I review all that, and we're trying to award to small business as much as we can. Um, if you're out on the federal supply schedules, that's probably an ideal place to be or get. If you're not out on the supply schedules, that's one of our research requirements. Um, and the rules change. I
Okay.
don't want to say all the time, but where the Buy American Act is now a hot item. Um, was there a question?
Oh, yes. There's another question. Please ask Darryl which upcoming industry events he plans to attend.
Um, well, right now we're in working them. I think next November there's one in San Antonio, Texas. Um, there's one here in March 13th. No, um, March 8th. I will be in a class and will not be able to attend that one, but there is one here in Tennessee at Tennessee State University. So when we're done here, you can send me an email or whatever. I'll send you the address of it if you're interested in going to that one. Um, so far, that's the only other ones I know about. Now they come in, like I just got it last week, the email for that one here in March. So, um, but like I said, they pop up all the time. So just I have to watch these websites, and most likely I'll be at several of them.
And we have another question. You mentioned capability statements slash sheets. If we have a 3 to 5 slide brief, do you help organize opportunities for us to engage those prime vendors?
Um, well, with the program I have now, it's a virtual library, so my space is limited. So, your capability statement obviously is like a company resume. So that's what I'm accepting, and then I use that to um, forward to the facility, and so that AUSs, our acquisition utilization specialists, can get it to the departments maybe it needs to go to. I can't do catalogs because my virtual space is not large enough for everybody to send me catalogs to send out to the facilities. Um, but um, I lost my train of thought there. Sorry. Um, but capability statement generally is a one page, maybe two. And then what I do is I review it, make sure it has what things it needs to have. I've dealt with a few small businesses that weren't aware of the unique identifier code change last April. So I'm trying to help when they call and weren't familiar with that, help them get registered for that. So that's a new requirement that they have to deal business with the government, federal government. Um, with that being said, I think I've covered everything on that part. You
Yes.
just have to be vigilant, watch these websites because things will pop up. Conferences like I'm in a planning stages of now. We're not sure when it's coming. We're anticipating May sometime, and that's working with the PTAC on getting that one scheduled. But we're in the planning stages now, so I can't give you an exact date quite yet.
Thank you. So I want to give a shout out to the participants right now because these have been some excellent questions that we are receiving. And I see that this session is getting ready, getting close to concluding. So Darryl, I wanted to save this question for the end. And we will have time afterwards, everyone, to answer some of your questions, like I stated. But if we're not able to get to it during this live session, we will follow back up with you to provide your response. So Darryl, I want to ask you, sometimes we get asked this question a lot. Where can firms seek advice and support from if they have concerns regarding a contract?
Um, well, it's kind of utilizing, down, like I said, a few slides down, you'll see a map of the United States and how it's broke out by VISN. So um, you would have to utilize your small business liaisons like me. And this is the map. It's broke out. It's don't ask me how the VA has decided to divide the states up, but as you can see, they're not straight lines, so it's kind of a mix there. But um, like so NCO9, if you're having concerns or questions, generally on the solicitation, there will be a contracting officer or specialist. That would probably be your first person to contact. If you can't get a hold of them or it's not listed, I'm available. So contact me and then I can get you contacted with the person that you need to get a hold of to ask a question or to clarify any comments. Here's a list of all the SBLs, current list across the nation. So like I said, this will be provided to you. You can also, if you're familiar with working around the government website, you could go to OSDBU .gov, and on the right hand side, halfway down, will be the small business liaisons for the country. It'll be the same, pretty much the same list as what you have here. There are a few other entities on there, a NAC, a SAC. So, but like I said, they're all listed out there, and just kind of get familiar working around different things because I have some more links coming up here that will help you. SBA is another great source. There's several links to them depending on what you're looking for in your business. SBA has links for tell you how to do financing, and they have hookups to get financing if that's what you're looking for. They help. They're kind of like your PTAC. They help with different aspects of your business. So I highly encourage you to use these links that are provided to get the needed assistance that you need. And each SBL, we're there every day. So if you reach out, you can't talk to somebody, you can call me. I'm always available. So, but here's a couple of these are a couple links. This is to the PTAC or the new accelerated name of that. But you can click on those right there, and that'll take you to somebody that can help you. And then the small business development center down at the bottom, I think is a national thing, and you can put in what state or zip code, and it'll bring up the closest center to you. So both of those are available as additional resources. Getting back to the contract, I'm sorry, I kind of got sidetracked there. Like I said, all the solicitations have them. If you can't get a hold of the solicitation, look at where the contract's written for and get a hold of the SBL in that area, and they should be able to direct you or help you get to where you need to go to the contract specialist or contracting officer. Sorry, that was a long drawn out thing for one simple question.
Thank you. And can you speak to just some of the links that you provided on this slide for the contracting tools and resources?
Sure. Obviously, SBA has a few on there, but like I said, SBA also going out to these various links. One, like the very bottom one, the SBA spells out the non-manufacturer rule. I think somebody asked a question on that earlier, so that might be a good source for you to go look on the non-manufacturing rule. And then we have sam.gov. So all businesses that deal business with the federal government have to be registered out on SAM. So if you're not registered in SAM, you'll need to hook up with your PTAC or the accelerator program to help them, let them help you get registered in SAM. Now, with that being said, SAM is free to get registered. But there are some small businesses out there that want to charge a fee for you to help you get registered. But it actually is free. So before you pay to get registered in SAM, please contact your PTAC or the accelerator program. They'll help you do it for free. Okay. And we got OSDBU, who where this is sponsored by the OSDBU today. And like I said, they provide all kinds of training. So this is a good link to go to see training. It'll also show you events that are coming up. It'll show you the SBLs, and just a lot of just general information that a small business would need working with the federal government. The North American Industry Classification System called NIAX. This is every procurement we write a contract for has a NIAX code. Okay, and the NIAX code is just a different just a second. It's a code that has a name with it. So if you're buying like physician services, the NIAX code will be like a 621111, Office of Physicians. And that's how we do our market research through this NIAX code and keywords. GSA e-buy, it's if you're kind of familiar with the federal supply schedules, which is down below that one, it's kind of a service also like that. And then, like I said, you have the SBA non-manufacturer rule. And then
Thank you for that. So we have enough time to address about 3 more questions. One of the questions is, do you provide a list of verified prime contractors or prime contractors who you'd recommend for possible subcontractor opportunities?
I do not have a list of primes. It depends on what type of industry you're looking at. Like construction, it has what they call a MATOC, and it has like a couple primes, and then there's several subcontracting opportunities that fall underneath those. So, like I said, it depends on what area of that you're looking for. If you're interested in construction, I probably can contact my construction team and see if they have a list of primes for that. But that would be for the construction. I'm not sure my other services and supply teams would have a list of primes. But on the same lines, if you're looking for opportunities, we're most all of that is out on SAM now. So,
And they can also look on, I'm sorry, Darryl, but usaspending.gov. That information provided on there not only shows you what the federal government is spending, but who's actually getting the contracts and a little bit of information about those contracts. So you'll be able to identify those primes as well, using that as a resource. Okay, so we had another question. Is the procurement ready screening assessments conducted by POC and VISN 10 mandatory to do business with VA? No, it's not mandatory to do business with VA. And then our last question, it was mentioned business can't be conducted with the local and federal government at the same time. Did I hear that correctly? I'm going to direct that question back to you, Darryl.
No, no, but you can't, if you're certified as a state, like a small business entity with the state, the federal government doesn't recognize that. Okay. All day long, you can go with state and get contracts awarded from the state, but the federal government doesn't recognize that socioeconomic status from the state. So you would have to get it converted over to a federal, and there was links there that can through the PTAC and all that to help you get, say, you're just a disadvantaged small business registered for the state. You get a hold of your PTAC, they should be able to help you get certified as a small business with the federal government.
Thank you for
Yeah.
that clarification. Well, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you all for watching. I'd also like to thank you, Darryl, again for joining us today and for your dedication to our veteran and small business community. I also want to thank all SBLs for everything they're doing to help the small businesses, and to VA OSDBU for always being an advocate and working to secure economic opportunities for our veteran-owned small business community. Darryl, do you have any other parting words?
No, but there's my information. If you have any questions that I didn't get covered today, you can email me or call me and we can get your question figured out.
Thank you. Please join us this week for our small business development training, Let's Get Social, using the power of social media to market your business. And actually, Dr. Nicole Hines will be hosting that training. It'll be tomorrow. Thank you again to everyone that have attended today. Once this training concludes, you will be directed to a survey. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot one more thing before everybody drops. If you haven't already, we do offer a capability statement workshop only for serious small businesses. Um, Only serious small businesses, excuse me, should attend. And that means that with this workshop is it's offered after you've attended our How to Create an Effective Capability Statement training, or you have already developed your capability statement and you would like for our office to review it. This workshop is a small group setting, no more than 15 small businesses in attendance. And if it is like up to 15, we do break it out into smaller group sessions so that everyone, we can spend enough time reviewing and providing recommendations if needed to the business capability statement. So if you are interested, you can type in capability statement or just CS in the Q&A or the chat. It doesn't matter. And then we'll be in contact with you later this week to schedule you for one of our workshops. And so now back to when I was speaking about the survey, I asked that you please provide your feedback and let us know how we did today. Your responses will be used as part of our continual service improvement effort. And for your awareness, when making your selection, the agree option is last instead of first. So again, we will reach back out to you to address those questions. Any questions that were directly for Mr. Scherer, I will forward them over to him. Um, and so I want to tell everyone, have a good day. Have a good rest of your day. Again, if you are here at the National Small Business Conference in New Orleans, we are in booth, VA OSDBU is in booth 113. Please come out and visit us.